Last year I marched, then I ran, then I won. I'm proud to now introduce myself. I am Kelly Fowler. I am the representative from the 21st District in Virginia. Where are all my Virginia friends who helped me? We did this together. Before last year, I never imagined I would run for office. But I brought my daughter to the Women's March last year to lift her. It is her birthday on Inauguration Day. Today, she is 9. Happy birthday! So she was born on Obama's Inauguration Day, a great day. And it was really hard to tell her that she would not get the first woman president on her 8th birthday. So we brought her to the march. I brought her to the march, and we marched. I didn't realize at the time that it was not just for her that I came. It was also for me, and to lift my spirits and to get me to my place that I needed to be, to take my seat at the table. It's not just about winning a few seats. It's about changing a tone in our country, in our world, and in our lives. Yes, we are changing the world every day, every one of us. When we march, when we run for office, when we volunteer, when we vote, when we speak out. So let's continue doing that. Let's do this. Keep doing it. Thank you. Okay, you put that way, back that way. Go that way.
Happy birthday. So now we have Marilyn Karp. She is a founding member of Indivisible of Nova West, and she's also known as Nasty Grandma.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marilyn Karp, and I'm a street fighter from the Bronx. But you mommies and grandmas and daddies and cousins and aunts and uncles and children and friends and neighbors, you are the resistance. Give yourself a big hand. Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. So we, the resistance, brought common sense to politics. We didn't follow the rules. We made them up as we went. This is our power. We think outside the box. We try things. If they work, we do more. We here in Virginia showed everyone that the resistance can, in fact, vote them out of office. We turned our cars into campaign offices so we could canvass for multiple candidates at the same time. We canvassed in red districts. Did it work? Damn sure it did. We elected 8 candidates in Prince William County. We helped Danica defeat Voldemort. We elected 2 Latina candidates in Corey Stewart's backyard, Elizabeth Guzman and Hala Ayala. We showed the campaigns there's so much more beside canvassing and phone calls. We didn't let the campaigns push us around. We made ourselves more efficient. We gave the voters much more information than the campaigns. We campaigned for everyone at the same time, not just the top of the ticket. We made this up as we went. We did what made sense to us. We got the commuters to vote absentee. At the end, the campaign started to call and ask us about going to commuter lots and bus lots. We led the way, but 2018 is much bigger. We have to get more people out to vote. We have to register more people. We have to canvass in the red precincts. It works. We helped double the number of people who voted in one red precinct. Common sense that it says that it's silly to go to the same house 5 times. You should ask them to send you into a red district to canvass. The votes you find in a red district won't turn it blue, but every vote counts, and we know only too well what that means. We can't allow any of the elections to be close. When they are, their cheating works. So be smart, use common sense, push the campaigns. You live in these neighborhoods. The young organizers don't, and some of them have little experience. Guide them, help them do the right thing. Don't just accept what they say. But perhaps the most important thing is that we found each other in our communities, in our states, and across the states. Resistors, I love you. Fired up.
All right, so now we have Judy Gerhardt from the International Labor Rights Forum.
Hello, are you ready to continue this resistance? We need to continue every day for many years to come. There are 3 big reasons we need to stand up for the women who want to claim their voice at the ballot box. We need to stand up for women who want to fight sexual harassment on the street or in their homes. And the third reason that I stand here today is because we need to stop sexual violence in the workplace. We need to stop all forms of sexual harassment, all forms of abuse, and all forms of the use of power to make women do what they don't want to do. I stand here for all the women we work with, from the garment factories in Los Angeles to the garment factories in Bangladesh to the fields of tobacco growing women in Malawi, in North Carolina, around the world. There are women who are working, who are toiling, who do not have a voice, do not have the ability to stand up, organize, and defend their rights at work. This resistance, if we want equality, it's got to trickle all the way down to every worker and every woman. Thank you, and keep up the fight.
We are so excited to have Senator of Connecticut, Blumenthal.
I bring you greetings from the great state of Connecticut. And I am so proud to be a United States Senator from Connecticut here today on this beautiful day with, again, I was here last year, some of the best fighters and activists and advocates in the whole country. You're here today to send a message. This is what democracy looks like. This is what citizen activism looks like and engagement. And we are going into this next election to turn around an administration that has nothing but contempt for women's rights and workers' rights and equal rights for all Americans. We're going to put a stop to it. Now, we know that it's more than going to a march, important as it is. It's about engagement at every level, the grassroots level. It's about voter registration. And women are marching and showing us the way, forging new paths. They are not only marching, they are running. They're running for office. And we need more of them. We need more of them in the United States Senate and in every state capital across the country. Thank you for being the conscience of America. You know, for many, many years, I was in law enforcement. I was the federal prosecutor, and then I was the Attorney General of our state in Connecticut. And I know how important, how fundamental the rule of law is in this country. You are here upholding basic rights. We need to keep fighting. We need to keep working. We need to keep marching so that we can uphold what makes America truly great. Our rights, our liberties, our freedom, we will never give up. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for showing us what democracy looks like. I look forward to marching and running and fighting with you. Thank you so much. God bless our great country. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. So now we have Elise Bryant. She is the president of CLUE. Woo!
Thank you, Queen. Good morning, family. I bring you greetings and salutations on behalf of the members of the Coalition of Labor Union Women, CLUE. I am a union woman, just as strong as I can be. I do not like the bosses, and the bosses don't like me. Which side are you on? Never mind, that's a rhetorical question. I know which side you're on. You're on the side of equal means equal. You're on the side of don't boo, vote. You're on the side of the dreamers. You are the resistors that say, hashtag me too, hashtag time's up, and inspired by the immigrant women janitors who marched and shouted, ya basta, enough is enough. And we're changing it to hashtag enough, period. Snap. Sisters not afraid of power. We're going to stop sexual harassment and sexual assault in our workplace, in our schools, on our college campuses, in our homes, and in our unions. In 1974, 1,200 women met in Chicago to envision and demand equal opportunity for women in unions and to organize the unorganized. I stand on the shoulders of Olga Madar, of Joyce Miller, of Gloria Johnson, of Reverend Addie Wyatt, and all the founding mothers of CLUE who taught me that a woman's place is in her union. Let me add to that. A woman's place is in the House of Representatives. A woman's place is in the Senate. A woman's place is in the White House, and we are coming for it. Are you with me? And those who think that the time of unions is over, let me ask you this. What is the first line of the U.S. Constitution? We the people, in order to form a more perfect what? A more perfect what? Union. They didn't say organization. They didn't say club. They said union. And look at this union of people here today. Yes. Tell me what democracy looks like. I'm going to close with the words of Sojourner Truth. Yes, who in 1851 addressed a women's rights convention in Akron, Ohio. And she said, if the first woman that God made was able to turn this here world upside down all by herself, then these women here today with our brothers will be able to turn it right side up again, and nowadays asking. So we shall march, we shall sing, we shall resist, and we shall overcome, because I know that deep in my heart I do believe, all together, we shall overcome someday. Power to the women, power to the people.
So now we have Susan Platt, president of Platt Consulting.
Good morning. What a beautiful day outside to be in Washington and marching, isn't it? Let me start by saying they'll tell you you're not qualified. Then they'll tell you it's not your turn. Then they'll tell you you don't understand the issues. And then they'll tell you you can't win. They tell you to smile more. They tell you to do something with your hair. They tell you they don't like how you dress. And then they tell you you can't win. And now it seems that because the current resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue constantly demeans women, his supporters think it's okay. They post a photo of you with a noose over your head. They send out your home address and tell others to destroy your property. They call you derogatory and hurtful names that are meant to belittle and scare you. But then they say, it's okay, because you can't win anyway. So when they tell you they don't like the way you campaign as a woman, you ask them what or who you are supposed to campaign like. I will campaign like a woman because I am a woman. And today, most particularly, women govern differently. Women have a different way of listening and compromising. They don't just get up from the table and tweet lies and insults. Or like Congressman Dave Bratt from Virginia 7th, say they won't meet with women because he said they were getting up in his grill. But let me tell every woman here a secret. You've already won. Why? Because you found your motivation and you empowered yourself and others to add another crack in that glass ceiling. Women cracked that ceiling in Virginia last November. They said Danica Rome could not be elected to the House of Delegates because she's transgender. But she won. They said Hala Ayala and Elizabeth Guzman, two Latinas, could not be elected to the House of Delegates. But they won. They said Jennifer Carroll Foy couldn't win because she was pregnant with twins who were born during the campaign, but guess what? She won. So did 7 other strong women who didn't listen to all those who said they couldn't win. In fact, 11 of the 15 new members of the Virginia House of Delegates are women. When former Virginia Attorney General Mary Sue Terry, the only woman in Virginia's history to win statewide office, and I started the first 2 statewide organizations dedicated to recruiting, mentoring, and contributing to women candidates, women held 11% of the seats in the House of Delegates. Today, women comprise 28% of the House of Delegates. Women voters did that. You did that. So I ask you, are we there yet? Are we done yet? The women's marches that took place around the world last year ignited something so organic, spontaneous, and powerful that our momentum cannot and will not be stopped. 2017 was not the first Women's March on Washington. That happened in 1917, more than 100 years ago, when 10 women suffragists were arrested and imprisoned for parading in front of the White House with signs that read, "Mr. President, what will you do for women's suffrage? And how long must women wait for liberty?" Last year, over 1 million women and men and children who support them donned their pink hats and marched on Washington again for causes just as important as a woman's right to vote. It just proves what Margaret Thatcher said. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Last year, we took our despair and disappointment and used it to harness our collective power. We worked our hearts out and proved that we can win, and we did win in Virginia. And last year, I did something I never thought I would ever do in my 62 years. Many of them as an activist. I ran for office. Wow, what an experience. I met people all over the Commonwealth of Virginia and was so energized by how many told me they had not done enough and they were getting more involved, and many for the first time. So while this year my name won't be on the ballot, but that doesn't mean my job or yours is finished. We found out this year how important just one vote is. Shelley Simons was in a tied race for a seat in the House of Delegates. The winner was determined by picking one name out of a fishbowl. The Republican's name was chosen. No race should ever have to be decided like that. Now, I have worked for decades to increase women's participation in politics, and I believe in that cause with every ounce of my being. But let's not forget to support the men who have always supported and empowered women like my friend, Senator Tim Kaine. Senator Kaine, who stood proudly with Hillary Clinton, who believes that women are capable of making their own decisions about their health and reproductive choices, who believes that every woman should have access to affordable contraception, who co-sponsored the Paycheck Fairness Act because he knows that men and women must be paid equally for the same work. And he pushed his colleagues to reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act, and who has also fought to make sure that women who serve their country in the U.S. Armed Forces are treated the same as their male counterparts. The Republican likely to challenge Senator Kaine in November does not support any of those things. So now I ask you, it's time we go fight that battle one more time. So with that, would you welcome to the podium the guy we're going to fight that battle for too, my good friend and that of all of ours, Senator Tim Kaine from the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Hey, Women's March 2018, you look great. Today, I want to talk about 3 anniversaries. The first anniversary of the Trump administration is a chaotic government shutdown, the Trump shutdown. The first anniversary of the Women's March is this fantastic gathering that's happening all over the country to show what democracy really looks like. And the third anniversary, well, I will get to that in just a couple of minutes. We are in the middle of a Trump shutdown last night. The Trump shutdown is due to the inability of the Republican Party to do basic governing like making a budget, something that everybody does at their own house. Just like the Republican effort to repeal health care, to take millions of people's health care away, or do tax cuts that benefit the few, not the many, or cut Medicaid and take Medicaid away from millions of people, this Trump shutdown is about hurting people and hurting our country. That's what they are doing. 4 months into a fiscal year, with all the levers, White House, House, Senate, they can't even get a budget done. Democrats told Republicans last night, instead of forcing a shutdown, here's a novel idea. Why don't we just stay at the table and negotiate a budget deal that's good for education, good for health care, protects our dreamers, gives hurricane relief, and is good for defense? Why don't we do that instead? But when my Democratic colleagues made motions, let's not shut the government down, let's stay open to get that good deal, the Republicans shut the motions down, shut the government, because guess what? That's what President Trump had asked. He's been talking and tweeting about a good shutdown, and so that's why we're here in the Trump shutdown. But I make this pledge to you, along with my Democratic colleagues, while they want to walk away, we will stay at the table to find a fix. President Trump may have to cancel a trip to Mar-a-Lago. He may have to reschedule his jetting off to Davos, Switzerland. But we'll find a solution with your help. For our dreamers, for our troops, for our teachers, for health care, we'll find a solution. But I'm here for the happier anniversary. I'm here for this anniversary. 1 year ago, millions of women and the men and children who have their backs marched around the world to send this message. Women deserve to be heard. Women deserve to be respected. Women deserve to lead. It was a tremendous honor for me to be the running mate for the first woman nominated for president by a major political party, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Hillary Clinton would have been a marvelous president, so much better than the alternative president we have now. But let me be serious. We know how tragic this is. It was not to be. The facts are plain. In a nation that does so many things so well, we have a terrible track record when it comes to electing women to national office. We know that we have never had a woman president, but we also know that the U.S. ranks poorly in the world when it comes to women serving in elected positions. In 1997, 20 years ago, the U.S. was 52nd in the world in the percentage of women serving in national legislative bodies, and in 20 years we've fallen. We are now 104th in the world, behind the global average. Nations like Bolivia, Rwanda, Iraq, Afghanistan have a higher percentage of women serving in elected office than the United States. We have to do better. The march last year, and marches all around this nation, you've inspired a great awakening. Women were dismayed when a qualified woman won the popular vote for president, but lost an election to an unprepared and immature man who bragged about assaulting women. And women are dismayed at an administration set on reversing gains for women's health access, educational equity, sexual assault enforcement, basic acceptance of science, and so many other areas. But women are stepping up to lead and leading this nation to a great awakening and great revival. We see it. We see it in a powerful cultural change inspired by the Me Too movement. Women, and increasingly all people, are joining together, refusing to tolerate an unacceptable culture of sexual harassment and assault. We are not there yet, but we're getting closer to the day when women no longer have to suffer abuse in silence for fear of being ignored, belittled, intimidated, or fired. Powerful figures have been toppled off their bogus pedestals and revealed for who they are because women are speaking up. And we are seeing a powerful movement of new women political leaders, voters, volunteers, organizers, candidates. Some work in huddles or indivisible groups, some on their own, some through churches or nonprofits, some through political parties. The energy and strength of this new generation of engaged women leaders is obvious. And can I tell you, 1 year in, it is working. It's working. In Virginia, the energetic activism of women helped us deliver an historic sweep of our statewide offices in November, and our new governor installed a majority women cabinet for the first time in the history of the Commonwealth because he recognized who put him in office. And even more impressive, 15 Democratic newcomers, and you've heard from some today, defeated Republican incumbents in our state legislative races. 11 of the 15 were women, first-time candidates, women of color, immigrant women, LGBTQ women. I was so proud that they won and so proud to campaign with them. You know that a month later in Alabama, we elected my friend Doug Jones in one of the reddest states in America. In his victory over a Republican candidate dogged by horrific stories of child molestation, the energetic participation of women, especially of women of color, sealed the deal, carried the victory, and was seen by all. And these are trends we are now seeing all over this country. Women stepping up to vote, women stepping up to run, women stepping up to win, and women stepping up to lead. Let me just conclude and say this. As I stand here and look at you, and as I think about the last year, the pains and the challenges, but the activism too, I think 2018 can be a breakthrough year for American democracy. When women achieve equal representation in our government, it will transform our policy and it will transform our politics. A huge win for women candidates in November will set the stage as we prepare for the third anniversary I want to talk about. The 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment in 2020, when we celebrate the centennial of women getting the right to vote. That's the third anniversary that I want to talk about. Imagine it. Nearly 100 years after women gained the right to vote, the progress in women representing us in government is still so very, very weak. But a change is coming. You are the change, and you have awakened this nation. We won't tire, we won't rest. Standing in this place, as hundreds of thousands have throughout our history, we claim the equality of women, all women, as our North Star, and we pledge our efforts to making our union more perfect by elevating women in every last corner of this country. Thank you, and God bless the work you are doing. It's great to be with you today.
Thank you so much, Senator. So before I introduce the next speaker, I just want to say to everyone on the ice, please get off the ice. The sun is shining and it will melt. So if you can hear me, please get off the ice. Now we have Representative Jerry Connolly of Virginia.
My fellow resistors, you know, last night at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's fancy friends spent $300 each to swill wine and enjoy a buffet. The rest of us came here to the Lincoln Memorial to remember that fateful day 1 year ago. We stand at a place of history right here. This is where Mahalia Jackson came to sing when she was denied access to an all-white facility. This is where Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. This is where Americans come for redress to right wrongs. Well, the wrong you and I want to right lives in the White House. We know that chaos is not a substitute for governance. We know that foul-mouthed pejoratives are not a substitute for a rational immigration policy. We know what justice is for women, for the LGBT community, for the dreamers. What an ironic but perhaps fitting way for Donald Trump to celebrate his first-year anniversary than by shutting down the federal government. Well, in November, we're going to shut you down, Donald Trump. America has a constitutional form of government. And in that form of government, we have checks and balances. Well, this November, you are going to be the check and the balance. Are you ready for it? From every hill and dale, from the West Coast through the Midwest, through the South, through the East, to the North, Americans are going to be heard about this government. And the biggest check and balance ever delivered will be delivered on Election Day, where Americans restore their sense of democracy, their sense of fair play, their insistence and right to justice, because this is our country and our government. And leading the way, as they led recently in Virginia, will be women who started it all on the Women's March a year ago tomorrow. The energy and power unleashed on that day, and I was proud to stand with you then, has not abated. It's only grown. And that's what gives me hope. I hope it gives you hope. Donald Trump and his ilk don't own this country. We're all Americans, and we're going to be heard in November. So keep up the faith. Keep up the energy. And if you got a little time today, come by one of our offices and get one of these green cards and show yourself in the House Gallery. My Republican friends would love to see you. God bless you.
All right, so now we have Kings Floyd. She is the co-chair of DC Metro Adapt. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Good morning, y'all. Thank you for being here today. My name is Kings Floyd, and I personally want to thank y'all for being here. I am so excited to see the motivation and enthusiasm come through from last year. Last year's march was a culmination of the advocacy and progress that women can make. Be proud of yourselves for that. Millions of us came out to support one another, not only in DC and in the US, but worldwide. The march showed the globe that women demand to have their voices heard, to have their presence recognized, and to demonstrate exactly what we are capable of. But the march was also a platform for other marginalized populations. Last year, the Women's March was the largest gathering of people with disabilities in US history. It was impactful to me personally, not only because so many people with disabilities came out in support, but we were recognized and respected as a community, as part of society, and as a body of people that can contribute to moving America forward. I'm part of a national grassroots organization called ADAPT. We are a group of disability rights advocates ready to engage in nonviolent direct action, including civil disobedience, to ensure the civil and human rights of people with disabilities to live in freedom. Through ADAPT's efforts this past year, we tried to ensure that the disability voice has been not only heard, but it's also relatable to the American people. We want the same things: healthcare, employment opportunities, a vote, a voice. We are still looking, however, for the same standard of living and of freedom promised. People with disabilities still have higher rates of imprisonment, both in a criminal setting and in institutions. Women with disabilities are at a higher risk of rape and sexual assault. We are more likely to be abused, and we are less likely to receive proper medical care. 1 in 5 Americans has a disability, yet we are not reflected proportionally in the media, in government, in jobs, in schools, in society. That's a problem. We, as women, are strong. We are powerful. We are creative. We are intelligent. We are engaged, and we are active in our community. Look at everyone who is here today. As much as I would like to say this applies to many of us with disabilities, we continue to feel additionally oppressed because of the boundaries and stereotypes placed upon us. Please consider how your feminism is accessible, how your activism includes everyone. Intersectionality is a huge part of who we are as the American people. Diverse identities flowing together to create opportunities, hopefully for all of us. I encourage others to look to how they support the disability community, how making your work and our world accessible benefits us all. ADAPT is strongly encouraging everyone to support bills that encourage the disability community, including the Disability Integration Act, a bill that helps federal civil rights laws for people with disabilities, for women with disabilities. Senator Kaine and others who are here, please help move this bill forward. I would like all of you to choose your influence to consciously and openly support the disability community. Don't forget that every single person here is in a position of power. We all came together last year, and we are all here this year. We have defined a moment in history. Use that power, your voice, and help us move forward. A community of all women of all different identities. Get out and vote. Thank you all very much.
So now we have Kamala Lopez. She is the president of Hiroka Films and executive director of Equal Means Equal.
Hi there, everybody. It's a beautiful day for equal rights. Women in the United States do not have equal rights in the Constitution, but we should. We must. Let me tell you how we could succeed at this in 2018. My name is Kamala Lopez. I'm the executive director of Equal Means Equal, an organization formed to focus on the ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment, or ERA. Since we were here at the march 1 year ago, there has been a seismic shift in the way women are dealing with the symptoms of pervasive gender bias, including the explosion of the Me Too and the Time's Up movements. But sexual harassment, sexual assault and rape, pay discrimination, pregnancy discrimination, domestic violence, gendered poverty, human sex trafficking. All of these ills are symptoms of a serious flaw in the underlying law upon which our systems and institutions are built. Until the explicit omission of women in our foundational legal document, the Constitution, is addressed and corrected, all of the energy of our new movements will dissipate without lasting and substantive change for American women and girls. A constitutional amendment is the only guarantee of our rights from one generation to the next. If we had the ERA, most of the fights for our rights that women and our allies face every single day would be completely unnecessary, as women would have the law on their side. The nonpartisan 24-word ERA simply says, equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Doesn't seem like this should be hard to get done, does it? Let's do it. Let's get it done this year. The ERA would provide basic civil and human right protections to women and girls. We must face the difficult reality that the United States Constitution, when written, deliberately excluded women. Hundreds of years later, in 2018, our culture has changed so much that 96% of Americans believe that men and women are equal. And 80% of us believe this equality is already guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. The problem is, it isn't, and it really matters. The Equal Rights Amendment remains 2 states short of ratification. Since 1982, ERA has been frozen at 35 ratified states. Then, in March of this past year, a miracle happened. And Nevada, thanks to Senator Pat Spearman, ratified the ERA. And now it's back on track. And we are 95% of the way there. At Equal Means Equal, we believe that once the 38 states are ratified, women will be fully equal under federal law. Lawyers and constitutional experts feel strongly that there is sufficient legal precedent to nullify the illegal deadline that Congress inserted into the preamble of the Equal Rights Amendment. But the bad news is that the 14 remaining unratified states are holding the ERA up in committee. They're not allowing hearings or a vote. They have been doing this for decades now. This is a few powerful men who chair important committees in their House of Delegates, in their state senates, and they are holding complete sway over basic human rights that affect more than half the population, that affect 161 million Americans. That is not right. We cannot accept this, and we cannot tolerate it anymore. For us not to focus with complete intensity on the ratification of the original ERA in the last 2 states is to waste our time and to possibly lose the one opportunity we have to push this over the finish line. This is an urgent call to action. Take out your phones right now and join equalmeansequal.org so we can mobilize equality warriors across the country in the unratified states. Call Speaker of the House Kirkland Cox and Delegate Mark Cole in the Virginia House of Delegates. Call them now. The fate of the ERA lies in their hands. They are the ones who won't pull it out of committee. Call them, write to them, call your local paper and tell them about them. And let them know that as Virginians, you want the ERA voted on immediately. We cannot allow a few prejudiced individuals to continue to obstruct justice, fair pay, and equal rights for women any longer. The legislative session in Virginia only lasts for 60 days. We only have 55 left. We have to act now. If we want to see ERA happen this year, we cannot afford to wait a single day longer. I am not joking. Take out your phone. Join equalmeansequal.org and let us keep you in the loop. There are strong ground games in Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Illinois, Florida, and of course, Virginia. Get involved. Now is the time to change the system, and let's start with the foundation. Thank you.
So our next speaker, we have Graça Martinez Rosa, Advocacy Director of United We Dream.
How y'all doing this morning? You all look so beautiful. I wish you would be here to see all of the amazing people that are here. You know, my name is Graça Martinez Rosa. I'm undocumented, unafraid.
Where I've gone. I can't tell anyone at all. You see, my best friend Sam was raped by a man that we knew because he worked in the after-school program. And waiting for the results of a medical exam, and she's praying she doesn't need an abortion. She couldn't afford it, and her parents would, totally kill her. It's 2002, and my family just moved, and the only people I know are my mom's friend Sue and her son. He's got a case of Matchbox cars, and he says that he'll teach me to play the guitar if I just keep quiet. And the stairwell beside apartment 1245 will haunt me in my sleep for as long as I am alive, and I'm too young to know why it aches in my thighs, but I must lie. I must lie. It's 2012 and I'm dating a guy and I sleep in his bed and I just learned how to drive and he's older than me and he drinks whiskey neat and he's paying for everything. This adult thing, it's not cheap. We've been fighting a lot, almost 10 times a week, and he wants to have sex and I just want to sleep, but he says I can't say no to him. This much I owe to him. He buys my dinners, so I have to blow him. He's taken to forcing me down on my knees and I'm confused because he's hurting me while he says please. And he's only a man, and these things he just needs. He's my boyfriend. So why am I filled with unease? It's 2017 and I live like a queen, and I followed damn near every one of my dreams. I'm invincible and I'm so fucking naive. I believe I'm protected because I live on a screen. Nobody would dare act that way around me. I've earned my protection, eternally clean. Until a man that I trust gets his hands in my pants. But I don't want none of that. I just wanted to dance, and I wake up the next morning like I'm in a trance and there's blood. Is that my blood? Hold on a minute. You see, I've worked every day since I was 18. I've toured everywhere from Japan to Mar-a-Lago. I even went on stage that night in Chicago when I was having a miscarriage. I mean, I pied the piper. I put on a diaper and sang out my spleen to a room full of teens. What do you mean this happened to me? You can't put your hands on me. You don't know what my body has been through. I'm supposed to be safe now. I earned it. It's 2018 and I've realized that nobody is safe long as she is alive. And every friend that I know has a story like mine. And the world tells me we should take it as a compliment. But then heroes like Ashley and Simone and Gabby, Michaela and Gaga, Rosario, Ali, remind me this is the beginning, it is not the finale, and that's why we're here, and that's why we rally. It's Olympians and a medical resident, and not one fucking word from the man who is president. It's about closed doors and secrets and legs and stilettos from the Hollywood Hills to the projects and ghettos. When babies are ripped from the arms of teen mothers and child brides cry globally under the covers who don't have a voice on the magazine covers. They tell us take cover. But we are not free until all of us are free. So love your neighbor. Please treat her kindly. Ask her her story and then shut up and listen. Black, Asian, poor, wealthy, trans, cis, Muslim, Christian, listen, listen, and then yell at the top of your lungs. Be a voice for all those who have prisoner tongues, for the people who had to grow up way too young. There is work to be done. There are songs to be sung. Lord knows there's a war to be won. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Halsey. Thank you so much, Halsey, for your bravery. Our next speaker is the ambassador of the ACLU. She is an author and an actress.
She's a model. She's an Emmy-nominated TV host.
She is a woman who cares, and she is
Padma Lakshmi.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? My name is Padma Lakshmi, and I am an immigrant. Today, I march for my mother to honor her struggles and defend her generation's achievements. Today, I march for my daughter so that she may see that her voice matters, that what she does with it matters, and that her vote matters. Today I march for my brown sisters, my white sisters, my African American sisters, my LGBTQ sisters, and all of my brothers, because they too matter. Today I march to show that all women, like all men, deserve equal treatment, equal pay, equal protection, and equal opportunity. Today I march because unless all Americans are protected, until all our human rights are respected, none of us are truly protected, and none of us are truly free. We owe it to this great nation to raise our voice, to lift each other up, and to vote. Demand that your voice be heard. No one is going to give us a place at the table if we don't ask for it, if we don't insist upon it ourselves. If you're an established woman, seek out young, deserving women, mentor them, guide them, give them a hand. Let them benefit from the wisdom of our struggles so that they won't have it as hard as we did. If you're a young woman, know that you matter, that your words matter, that your actions matter. Your vote matters. Please vote. We must create the world we want to live in because no one is going to do that for us. Thank you so much and good luck on the march. I'll be right there with you.
Let's hear it for Padma Lakshmi.
Thank you so much, Padma. Okay, so back in the 90s at a women's leadership forum, former Secretary Hillary Clinton said, if you leave all the decision-making to others, you might not like what they do, and you will have no one but yourself to blame.
We were so glad our next speaker was in that audience. She was inspired by those words. She jumped into politics, and she never looked back.
In November 2012, she ran for a full 6-year term as senator. She won the election with 72% of the vote, the largest victory margin for a state candidate in New York history.
We are honored to have her with us as one of the most passionate advocates for human rights in politics today, Senator Kristen Gillibrand.
Let's give it up for her! So, due to the shutdown of the government,
we learned that Senator Gillibrand could not join us today
in body, but we want you to know that she is here in spirit, standing behind the Women's March. So can we give it up for Senator Kristen Gillibrand?
And we'd like to have a moment of silence for all the women who wanted to be here today, but could not for many reasons.
Women who are incarcerated, women who are suffering in domestic abuse relationships, women who, for whatever reason, just feel too ashamed or frightened. And we ask you all now, in their honor, in the honor of women who should be here, who want to be here but can't be here, one moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Gloria Estefan once famously said, the rhythm is going to get you.
And this next performer, oh, she's about to get you with her rhythm.
She is a proud immigrant raised right here in New York City and one of the best electric guitar players in the world.
Critics say that she's a cross between Bob Marley and Carlos Santana. I think you're going to agree. We think she's way better than all those dudes.
She is a triple threat. She is a singer, a songwriter, a guitar phenomenon. Please welcome Cecilia.
Woo!
Hola amigos y amigas, nos levantamos juntos, we rise up. This is for the Latinos, for the immigrants, for the refugees, for the dreamers. We are all American. This song is about the fight. This is La Lucha. Yeah! Tienes tu voz para explicar
and I talked to them about getting together to identify effective ways to take action. Little did I know, that was the day the Women's Alliance for Democracy and Justice was born. On November 15, 2016, 38 women showed up at my house. Now, mind you, my book club only had 8 women. I knew then that there was a thirst and a need for action. I could see on the faces of these women that they were shook too. No longer was I going to say to myself, I don't have time. Somebody else will do it. There was too much at stake. My great-grandmother fought for my right to vote, and she persisted until she won. And by God, so would we. Since that day, the Women's Alliance has grown to 355 members strong. Talking about everything we have done is a much longer conversation. What I would like to do is encourage you to engage and commit today to taking simple steps to become politically active. Here are 3 simple things I learned. 1, actions count. Simply identify your elected officials at the local, state, and federal levels. Educate yourself about them as well as your community. Email, call, visit, write postcards. Let them know what issues are important to you and how you want them to vote. They actually work for you. Get trained to register voters and go to community colleges and universities and other communities to register people. Join our group or your local indivisible group offers to help. What's really important to remember is number 2. Humanity and the earth do not have time for you to be too busy and tired. Get up and do something. Finally, be persistent. Don't put obstacles in front of yourself or others. People doubted me all the time. What's the goal of your group? Do you even know what you're doing? I didn't. I would tell them my goal was simple, to persist, to consistently bring women together and see what happens. And after, all of you know, when women come together, great things can happen. Let your life speak. Thank you. Our next speaker we have Wath Associate Director of Community Engagement at the Democratic National Committee.
Fired up? Fired up? Good afternoon, ladies and friends. It is indeed a pleasure to join you here this afternoon as we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of when we sent a message to the world that women are here to stay, that we will not go quietly into the night, and that this is our time. My heart is so full at the sight of the array of badasses and beauty that is out here today. 2015 was undeniably a good check for us all. No one could have predicted the predicament that we would land in. But I must say, no one had a more appropriate response and solution to the mess that we're in than women. Last year, millions of women organized, mobilized, and marched. This year, though we're still marching, we've taken it a notch further, and now we're running. We run so that women's rights are no longer on the negotiating table for Trump's overlays and his billionaire friends. We run because every child deserves clean water, healthy food, safe environment, quality health care, and a quality education. Women across this world are putting their names on ballots and changing the course of this history. We have said that it's simply enough. Enough senseless government shutdown, leaving our country defenseless because people don't want to do their job. Enough of women being made to feel uncomfortable in the workplace, on the train, on the buses, on the airplanes, down the street. Enough is enough. Enough of families living in fear of separation and deportation. Enough of playing politics with people's lives. Trump may be unstable, but he is not unstoppable. Now, I have the awesome honor of standing before you to introduce a man who has not only celebrated women, but who has trusted and invested in them. A man who knows that if we were ever able to restore stability back into this country, that it will be women that will lead the way. Ladies and friends, without further ado, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Tom Perez.
Good afternoon, my friends. Get up for Virginia! As we say in my house, Virginia's got game. I'm also proud to be here with my oldest daughter, Amalia, a senior in college. She's here. And you know, I want to say something about my friend Virginia, because Virginia spent a lot of time out of the office in the past few months. In fact, she spent almost a month down in Alabama helping Doug Jones become the United States Senator from Alabama. And thanks to African-American women, 98% of whom voted for Doug Jones. 98%, the backbone of the Democratic Party. Doug Jones is now Senator Doug Jones. And before that, Virginia was in Virginia, organizing up and down Virginia, from Hampton Roads to Northern Virginia, helping people up and down the ticket send a message to America that when we organize, when we field great candidates, and when we lead with our values, we win, folks. That's what we did. So thank you, Virginia, for your work. I must tell you, it's a beautiful sight to look out here today. And I'll tell you one more thing. If the Congress, if the White House, if the governorships across America, if the legislatures across America had more women like I see here today, we'd be a much better America. There's no doubt about it. I asked President Trump and Sean Spicer to come over and count the crowd, but they didn't want to come. But no matter what they said, this is what an actual crowd looks like. We're all here for the same reason. We understand that our democracy is at risk. We understand that a year ago, Donald Trump and Mike Pence were sworn in and immediately began turning the clock back on women's rights, workers' rights, LGBT rights, immigrant rights, and our fundamental values of inclusion, opportunity, and tolerance that have always made America great. They nominated a Supreme Court justice who has repeatedly sided against women in reproductive health cases, against workers in employment cases. They emboldened Republican governors in Kentucky and Texas who are hell-bent on closing abortion clinics and taking away a woman's constitutional rights to make her own health decisions. They halted President Obama's equal pay rule. They halted an effort that we led the Labor Department to make sure that companies that engaged in sexual harassment were held accountable. And they have tried again and again to repeal the Affordable Care Act. You know what, my friends? This doesn't simply affect women, it affects all of us. When a woman has to choose between her family and her job, that hurts all of us. When a single mom has to choose between paying for child care and paying for rent, that hurts all of us. When a woman's career suffers because she's forced out of the workforce because of sexual harassment, that hurts all of us. And that, my friends, women, everyone, that is why we must all fight to fix it. And I'm here to say thank you to the women across America who have led America back to its greatness. You responded by organizing. You responded by putting your name on the ballot. And as you know, more women are running for office than ever before. In the great Commonwealth of Virginia, the pundit said we couldn't win more than 4 or 5 seats in a state House of Delegates. Well, we won 15 seats in the Maryland and Virginia House of Delegates. 15, and but for a coin flip, we would have won a 16. And those 15 former House of Delegates members in Virginia are all men, replaced by 11 women, 11 strong women, including the first 2 Latinas in Virginia history, the first Asian American in Virginia history, the first openly transgender woman in Virginia history. They are our present, they are our future, and Virginia is not the only place where it's happened. And here's why it's happened. Because you've marched, you've spoken up to protect health care, including the right of women to make their own choices about their bodies and their health. You're fighting for dreamers, and will continue to fight for dreamers every day. You're standing up against policies that make the rich richer while making the rest of us pay. And you are leading a powerful revolution with Me Too and the Time's Up movement. And I'm here to say, time's up for Republicans. You know what, folks? Make no mistake about it. Women will be the reason this administration ends on January 19, 2020. You know, the founding fathers get a lot of credit, but it's the marching mothers and daughters that continue to make this country great. Thank you for doing that. I am so proud to be here with my daughter Amalia. You know what? It is absolutely time to end the practice of giving our sisters and my daughter and my other daughter less options than their dreams demand. We must fight for their futures. We will continue to fight for their futures. And you know what, folks? I want you to keep one number in mind as we move forward. 290. There are 290 days until the November election in 2018. And that means there are 290 days until the Democrats take over the House of Representatives, and the Democrats take over the Senate, and the Democrats win governor's races across this country, and the Democrats win state legislative races across this country. 290 days, my friends. But you know what? The arc of the moral universe is indeed long, and it does bend toward justice, but it never, ever, ever bends on its own. We must bend it together, and we must bend it together by understanding that we are living in unprecedented times. What is going on as we speak right now is quite literally unprecedented in our nation's history. Never has one party controlled the White House, the United States Senate, and the United States House of Representatives, and then shut down the federal government. That is what just happened. That is incompetent. That is immoral. And that is wrong. But that is what they did. But you know what? There's an equally important shutdown that we must respond to. And that is this president and this Republican Congress's effort to shut down basic American values of opportunity for everyone, inclusion, making sure that every zip code counts, making sure that every child is gifted and talented and is able to realize those gifts and talents. And how do we take back America? We do it the same way we have always done it. We organize and we vote and we lead with our values. So my friends, I say to you this, if you believe that people who work a full-time job can live a stress-free life and should live a stress-free life, you should organize and vote for Democrats. If you believe that anyone who works a full-time job should not have to live in poverty, you should organize and mobilize and vote with Democrats. If you believe that a woman's right to choose is a fundamental right that we should never interfere with, and it is part of women's economic empowerment, you should organize, mobilize, and vote for Democrats. If you believe that health care is a right for all and not a privilege for a few, you should organize, mobilize, and vote for Democrats. If you believe that the right to vote is our most sacred vote and that voter suppression is wrong, you should organize, mobilize, and vote for Democrats. If you believe that our dreamers are every bit as American as my American-born daughter, you should organize, mobilize, and vote for Democrats. If you believe that our Secretary of Education ought to believe in public education, you should organize, mobilize, and vote for Democrats. If you believe that our EPA administrator might be tutorial on climate change, then you should organize, mobilize, and vote for Democrats. If you believe that every single person in this country should have access to safe drinking water, if you believe that we should build more schools and not more prisons, if you believe that every single person is entitled to a second chance, you should organize, mobilize, and vote for Democrats. If you believe that our first female president should not be Mother Russia, you should organize, mobilize, and vote for Democrats. That's what it's about, folks. We've got to take a page out of John Lewis's playbook, and that's what we did in 2017. We caused good trouble. We organized. We mobilized. And we won elections. We won elections in Oklahoma. We won elections in Iowa. We won elections in New Jersey, in Virginia, in Alabama, and elsewhere. And in 2018, we will continue that blue wave, but only if we do it together. Let's bend that arc together. Let's cause good trouble together. Let's pass an equal rights amendment together. Let's go victorious together. Thank you very much. Keep up the great work.
for being here. We are so excited and want everyone to have fun and stay safe. The sun is shining, so please stay off the melting ice. Again, please stay off the melting ice. Our next speaker is the amazing Civil Rights War.
Thank you, everybody from Virginia. I'm originally from Hampton Roads. I'm an LGBT veteran. I joined the Navy a long time ago, back in 1998, from a high school in IC Norco. Anybody from there? No, I thought not. That's okay. So I'm in Maryland. I'm here in D.C. where I'm in the D.C. National Guard. It's a great place to be. Anybody? Thank you. Well, this is a great story because it's about you. You are Jane Doe. It's about how much power you have as Jane Doe and how much you can fight as Jane Doe against two powerful administrations and how much you can do as Jane Doe and how much you can have over two administrations. And this is that story. When you are also a man or a woman, and you also claim the title as Jane Doe, you can also have that power. When you do this, you can also be a transgender individual, like myself. And you can serve in the military now. You couldn't do that with Don't Ask, Don't Tell. That got turned down back in 2010 during the prior administration. Now we get to serve with equality. Most recently, we got tweeted by this administration. And Jane Doe's had to stand up and fight for equal rights once again. And now, all the men and women and transgender individuals of the LGBT community had to stand up and fight against this administration and say no more. We needed to make sure that we could stay.
We must not let them dictate what we do with our bodies. And we must not let them dictate how we choose to live our lives. We are free, willing individuals who have choices to live whatever way we want, whatever sex we want, and we cannot let them take that right away from us. What this administration has done on their human services, on the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services website, is they listed all of the revisions. And what they put on the website was a picture of a Muslim woman in hijab to push their agenda for religious freedom. Let me tell you, I am the first to say I refuse to allow them to use me, my faith community, to push their racist and bigoted agenda against the LGBTQIA community and the reproductive community. So what I want you to do is to go on the website and you'll see the picture. Click on it. It will take you down to the page, the bottom of the page, and it says, was this page helpful? I want you to press no, then go to next, and then say, please remove the woman's image from your website. I and Muslim Americans will not let this administration create a wedge between the LGBT community and my community. We've worked hard as allies, as communities who've been marginalized, and we refuse to let them do this to us. So today, my sisters, I want you to celebrate yourselves, and I want all my brothers here to celebrate your sisters, your mothers, your aunts, everyone in your family. So I want to end by sharing something from my faith tradition, which motivated me to be here today, but more importantly, is a part of my spiritual identity. The Prophet Muhammad, during his lifetime, liberated women in many ways. One of those ways was he made sure that women kept their maiden names when they got married, so they can keep their full identity. And one of the most profound things that he preached was, heaven lies beneath the feet of your mother. Heaven lies beneath the feet of your mother. This was something that he preached to all the men to make sure that they treated women with respect and dignity and gave them the utmost love that they can possibly give them. So each and every man who is Muslim, when reminded of this, heaven lies beneath the feet of your mother, they are to pay them homage and respect them and do everything in their power to uplift them and celebrate them. And so today, my sisters, those of you who are mothers, those of you who are not, heaven lies beneath your feet today. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Debbie. Okay, next up is the author of a wonderful children's book
called Bad Hair Does Not Exist or Pelo Malo No Existe.
This book is to educate children and parents everywhere about the beauty of diversity. This woman is also the co-owner of the Boogie Down Grind Cafe.
She's been featured everywhere. New York Times Magazine, NBC, HuffPost, Univision, Telemundo 47.
That's only
She's
a third
everywhere.
She's been everywhere. She's here helping us celebrate women as unique, shining individuals. She is Suma Arzu Brown.
Give it up! Que frío, Dios mío! Woo! But we are on fire, aren't we, women? Yes, yes. I am a proud Garifuna woman from Honduras. I am an Afro-Latina. You see, the Garifuna people hail from the beautiful island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are a resilient group of culture. We overcame the plot for genocide and slavery. Our culture and tradition is still intact to this day. Today, we are 200,000 strong in New York and less than 1 million in the world. I am the daughter of an immigrant, and I myself am an immigrant. I am a product of a mother who was overlooked for a promotion at her job because she was black, Latina, Garifuna, and a woman. Her male boss literally said, I cannot give you the promotion. You should feast your eyes on the land of opportunities. You should feast your eyes in the United States of America. And she made the very harsh decision to leave my brother and myself in the hands of my family while she came here and sacrificed and paved the way for us to be here today. I stand on the shoulders of my mother, Blanca Arzu. I am a mother. I am the proud mother of Zuleni and Bella Victoria. You see, when Bella was born, she had very, very, very horrible complications. I did not even get to carry my daughter until about 2 weeks later. And when she came into my arms, her head was shaved off. And my husband and I did not realize how the stigma of pelo and hair played in our culture. We told the doctors, how dare you shave off the head of our little girl? She is a little girl. And the doctor told me, Miss Arzu Brown, it was either her life or her hair. Her life or her hair. And I said, how dare we? How dare we? I am the author of Bad Hair Does Not Exist. I refuse to let anyone who does not understand our story, who does not understand the resilience of my people and the sacrifice of my mom and the sacrifice of my father, label anything in my daughter as bad. And God put in my heart the response to the person who labeled my daughter's hair as pelo malo with proper terminologies, and I ask very courageously, with love, let us work together to make sure that we raise the self-esteem of all little children, all little girls and boys under your care, which opened up an incredible conversation. And she expressed to me, Zulma, perdóname, Zulma, I'm sorry. You see, my father was an Afro-Latino, and the only term he knew for his own hair was bad hair, was pelo malo. And I said, well, honey, it's going to stop with me and you. Colloquial terms like this should not go on to the next generation. It should not keep us from progress, and it will not stop us. We will work together. You see, I am a mother. I am a wife of an incredible man, Mo Brown, who's over here. He is my heart and soul. And together we are raising incredible little girls. You see, we are creating a path for our children that lets them know that we are not just people of color, that we are people of beautiful color, that we belong to the human race, and that we come from beautiful places that we cultivated with our bare hands and we were forced out of. We didn't want to leave. We were forced out of. Through my books, you will see my community. Through my books, you will see that we share very similar experiences as human beings and as women. Experiences that include love and compassion and heart. So when you see me, do not label me. When you see me, I will tell you who I am, because I am a proud Garifuna woman from Honduras. I praise God Almighty. I am the mother of Zuleni and Bella. I am the wife of Maurice Brown. I am the daughter of Blanca and Armando. I am the director of operations for the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And yes, I'm the co-owner of the Boogie Down Grind Cafe right in the heart of Hunts Point Avenue. I am the president of Zulma LLC. The author of Bad Hair Does Not Exist. I praise God for making me a beautiful complexity. I am woman, hear my roar.
Hey! We have just a few speakers left. Our next I think you'll be very happy for our next speaker.
Are you ready for some Women's March magic? We are honored to introduce a woman whose very name inspires respect and hope.
She's a woman who continues to express her views.
That's a hint.
And be a voice for women everywhere.
This is a woman who once said, we're here for a reason. I believe a bit of the reason is to throw little torches out to lead people through the dark.
And she's here to throw out a whole lot more than that. Please give it up for the one and only
Whoopi Goldberg!
Hey. All right, you've heard a lot of speakers today. I don't want to just keep repeating stuff, but the thing I will say to all of us is we have made a change. We've started a movement that is still moving. People were inspired last year who were not here, but who were so enraged by some of the things that were said that they decided to go ahead and run. And many of these people beat the men they were running against, not because they were men, but because they were small-minded. What we want is for everyone to remember, the only way that we are going to make a change is if we commit to change. We have to decide that the people who represent us have to represent all of us. They cannot represent some of us. They must represent all of us. We are all human beings and have the right to say, this is how I want to be spoken to. I don't want to be spoken to like you own me, like you think you can touch me when I say you cannot. We are here to say, as women, we're not taking it anymore. It's not going to happen anymore. And listen, the only way that you're going to make this change is when you say, here are the people I want in office. Okay? This is what I want in office. We don't have to agree 100%, but we can all agree that we want to be dealt with respect. That's the first thing. The second thing is, listen, if we don't say to each other, it is time for me as a woman to say to you, listen, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to try to make these changes, but we're going to do them right, because we don't want to be the people we're saying are treating us badly. We don't want to turn around and do the same stuff that's being done to us. That's not a good thing for us to teach young women. We need to teach each other how to get what we want without turning our backs on each other as human beings. So I am thrilled to be here, because I remember as a kid watching people march for change and seeing that water hoses were the response that a lot of people got. That's not quite what we're facing, and it's hard to make change. It's hard to stand up. There are consequences. It's not easy. But it's not, it's not a promise. Nobody ever said it would be. Nobody said this is going to happen overnight. Everything takes time. But we can at least say we see progress, and we're working for progress. And listen, here's what I hope. I hope that the next group that come in, Congress and Senate, Republican, Democrat, I hope the next group that comes in that says, listen, we're going to shut the government down. I hope they say, and we're not going to take any money either. We're not going to accept any money either, because I believe that the only way this is going to work is if it works for everybody. It can't just work for some, because people who are getting, they're kind of meandering. You know, they're, yeah, we'll talk about it. No. Either none of us get or all of us get. So, I thank you all for coming. I love the fact that I cannot see the end of this. Thank you, women, and thank you, men, for coming out and supporting these women and realizing that respect is mutual. You respect me, I'll respect you. We do this together, a human entity. All of us are in this together. See you on the road. We're all marching together here.
Keep it going for Whoopi Goldberg! Whoopi Goldberg, yeah! Our next guest is the co-executive director of the New York State Youth Leadership Council, and she created Ask Angie, an advice column for undocumented immigrants. Give it up for Angie Rivera!
How you doing, Women's March? I can't hear you. ¿Cómo estamos, Nueva York? I switched it up on ya. Hi, everyone. My name is Angie, and I am co-director at the New York State Youth Leadership Council and an immigrant from Colombia. Woo! Shout out immigrants! I came to the United States over 20 years ago, and most of my life I was an undocumented immigrant. Do you know what that is like? To grow up in limbo? To live in fear? Because our immigration system is violent? Because we separate families? Because people are detained? While some of us get to march and celebrate our womanhood, there are immigrants in detention centers. There are immigrants who are not allowed to raise families, to be mothers, because they are not seen as human because of their immigration status. That is how I grew up, in fear, because I was never enough, because this country always discriminated against me and saw me as unworthy. But I am here to reclaim my story and reclaim my life and my own power, because immigrants, we are not voiceless. We are not invisible. We can organize in our communities. We can fight back for ourselves. While DC politics continue to negotiate on a DREAM Act that will never be enough, that will never erase our trauma, papers will not erase our trauma. We are here fighting for ourselves, because papers and politics do not give us humanity. It does not grant us worth. Los papeles no son todo. Nosotros los inmigrantes podemos luchar por nuestras vidas y por nuestras comunidades. Y estoy aquí porque más de 20 años de mi vida fui indocumentada. pero sí tengo una voz y yo valgo, no importa mi estatus migratorio. Thank you so much for the Women's March, and thank you all so much for being here. Shout out to immigrants.
Thank you, Angie Rivera.
Angie Rivera.
Hey, New York City, we have a question for you. Are you going to let anyone ever again tell you to be quiet? Well, neither is your next performer.
She is anything but quiet. She is Milk!
Tell them to mute the podium. I'm the singer. 1 second. Test, test.
How's everybody doing? We are at the 1-year anniversary of the Women's March. Thank you for having me. My name is Milk. I sing for the relentless, for the vulnerable. I sing for the brave. I sing for you. I sing for you as you march today, as you speak out for what you believe in. And I am honored to be your vessel for today. I hope this song gives you strength and reminds you that we are united. If you look to your left, you look behind you, you look in front of you, and to your right, you are surrounded by people who believe in love and in peace and progress. Thank you very much. Put on your face, know your place, shut up and smile, don't spread your legs. I could do that, but no